All right, so this one is from Sherm. He's saying, Bradley, hope you're doing well. Long time no see. I have an SEO client who has added other mechanical services to his HVAC offerings, plumbing, electrical, appliance repair, radon testing, and mitigation, and wants to edit his GBP and location names to reflect all of those services and locations. We built his website in GMBs 7 years ago and created individual suburb GMBs for his business, and he's been ranking well. We are in the process of rebuilding his website with additional service pages to better reflect the new offerings. Don't worry, we include redirects if any page URLs change. Goals with the website rebuild is to improve the user interface, especially for mobile, and improve page load times a bit. He's been ranking well for thousands of keywords for a long time, so his domain has a great reputation. Unfortunately, he got a little overzealous and decided to try changing the GBP location names, stuffing keywords and all those services into the names without consulting me. Don't you love it when the business owners try to help you with your SEO? Stop helping. Stop helping, right? He also tried just adding categories for those services in the GBPs, but those steps resulted in suspended GBPs, which is understandable. Those locations now require re-verification. They are still live and ranking. We just can't respond to the, excuse me, to the reviews or to add new content. Yeah, I've got a number of those myself that are in re-verification status that I'll never be able to re-verify, but they are still published. It does suck, but at least they're still live. So you still can actually rank them. I'm trying to convince him to simplify or standardize his GBP names instead of keyword stuffing, which I recommend. I highly recommend that. I'm thinking about the following formula would work well. Company name, home service pros, location would be a better strategy in stuffing. Yes, but I actually pulled this up earlier, Sherm, because I looked at the home service pros. That's not bad, but here's what I want to show you guys. If you look up like home repair, let me zoom in on this a little bit. If you look up home repair, Wikipedia and Google, you'll see that home repair comes up, and there's renovation, which is also called remodeling, but that's broad renovation. But then there's this one that comes up, right? So you'll see like home renovation, which is just a redirect, so that's an entity variant that links to home improvement, okay? And home improvement, if you read the entity, right, the topic or entity, right? That's what I call this. It says the concept of home improvement, home renovation, or remodeling is the process of renovating, making improvements, or making additions to one's home. If you scroll down here, now it tells you here are the different types of services that are related to the entity home improvement, right? Or associated with the entity home improvement. And that is upgrading HVAC systems, talking about hot tubs and spas, plumbing, electrical, waterproofing, soundproofing, roofing, window replacement, chimney services, painting, electrical, wallpapering, furniture polishing. You guys see this? This is the appropriate term. So, Sherm, yes, you're on the right path. I would go with home improvement as the entity. And by the way, remember, guys, if you click on tools, anything that's in bolded text in the paragraph text, not necessarily headings or subheadings, but paragraph text within the topic page or entity page for Wikipedia are interchangeable. That means they're synonyms that can be used interchangeably with this term. But also, if you click on tools, what links here, hide transclusions and hide links, and click go. These are also entity variants, right? So you can use any one of these terms interchangeably, and it all means that, if that makes sense. So you can pick whichever one seems to be the most relevant and appropriate. Home repair is not as relevant, in my opinion, because this is more about repair services, where clearly this is, as it states in the first paragraph, it's about making improvements, additions, etc., and these are all associated with it. So to get back to your question, I do like this way better. I do also like having a location name appended when it's a multi-location business, because that delineates the locations, makes it much more distinguishable, and it makes it easier to manage when you're working on multiple locations for that one client, because it's easy to see which location right in the name. So thoughts on that, Brian, from you, please.
No, that's 100%. That's the way that I would go with it.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. We have to find new physical locations for short-term rentals, then decorate with company CISS to get re-verified or new GBPs. I agree. Yes. Also, I do recommend doing press releases when you're changing names of GBPs. Do that first. Use Yext Power Listings or something also. Do all that first and give it about a month and I like to use a premium distribution press release when I do that too. So I like to do Yext Power Listings where I'll make the changes of the name or whatever to the GBP in the Power Listings first. Then I would publish a press release that reinforces those changes with a premium distribution. And then I will give it at least 2 weeks after the press release has been published, but usually I want to give it about a month before I will go in and make the change in the GBP. And here's one other trick. Do a suggestion edit to the GBP as a Google local guide, not with a Google Manager profile, and see if it will take. After you have that supporting documentation from citations, press releases, etc., a lot of the times you can just suggest an edit and it will take. It will be approved. And that's a much better and safer way to do it than having to do it as a business profile manager, because that's where it's more likely to get suspended. Like if you suggest an edit, it's not going to suspend it. They're just going to either deny it or approve it. That's it. That makes sense. Your thoughts on that, Brian?
Yeah, the key right there is also the having the supporting documentation, having that ahead of time. People get overzealous about just, I need to make this change right here, right now, instead of giving it that time. The other thing, as you were mentioning, is that third party. I've seen both local guide and without local guide being able to make that. It goes
Yes.
into the trust of the account that you're actually making the edit with. But making that edit through a third party not associated with the business, absolutely critical right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. And so again, like I said, there's been some times where no matter how many times I suggest an edit, the name change gets denied. And so then I will go into the profile manager at that time and make the change. I just did that last week, actually, with another one of my GBPs that I rebranded from a Tree Care HQ local brand to a Felling Pro brand. And I tried, it was the Tree Care HQ Charlottesville, which is now Albemarle Felling Pro. And that one I must have submitted, and I had some of our mastermind members also that were local guides submit the edit request to change the name. And Google denied every fucking one of them. And so finally I just went into the GBP profile manager last week and changed the name, and it took. And it didn't suspend. So we're golden. But sometimes, most of the time I can get it changed by just suggesting an edit. So